guys, Curtis Candy Spaz Gamer Shotgun Boy here with you with another Black Ops 2 commentary because it's Tuesday and that's what we do on Tuesday here. Today I bring you one of my very average, mediocre gameplays because that's all I have is average, mediocre gameplays. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of my wrestling days, some old war stories. But first, let's get started on the video. Give it a click. Okay, and here comes some average gameplay. A lot of you guys have asked different things about the wrestling, and I loved my wrestling career. I loved wrestling from the time I was a little kid. When I was like 6, 7 years old, we lived out in the country, and I can remember taking my mom's clothesline rope and trying to make my own ring and everything, and I would wrestle imaginary foes. I would, wrestle. If a woodchuck came in the yard, I would wrestle it, whatever. I'd just wrestle anything I could. I loved it. Always have. Now, I stayed in the business longer than I probably should have, because I really beat my body up. And the reason was I enjoyed putting on a show. I like putting on a show for kids. I like being able to have a little bit of an influence in a kid's life here or there. Because for whatever reason, even though it was just dopey independent wrestling, they looked up to you. And it's just something I really enjoyed. Now, the reason I never went, I've been asked this several times, I never went or tried to go big time, go WWE or whatever, was I actually did. When I first started, I broke in, I was 19, in New Mexico. Now, I went over to San Antonio, Texas, where the big time was, the big time wrestling, and I worked out with those guys, great group of guys, and they offered, to work with me and stuff, but that's when I found out that to be at that level, you're on the road 250 to 300 days a year. And I've always been very family-oriented, and that wasn't for me, so I decided, I can enjoy my wrestling career and just stay close to home and do independent wrestling on the little indie shows, and that's what I did for 30 years and loved every second of it. Now, because that I've always enjoyed putting on a show for kids, the reason, I don't want that to sound creepy, it's like our society has gotten so weird you can't even say that you enjoy kids without it sounding creepy or something. The reason I like hanging out with kids or like putting on the shows for kids is kids are pure honesty. Adults are so often trying to leverage something from you or being careful of what they say because they want to appear a certain way or gain a certain thing. Kids are pure honest. If they think you suck, a kid will tell you you suck, and you better believe that's what they think. If they love you, if they think you're cool, you got a friend for life because they're just that hardcore honest. And I appreciate that and I like it. So towards that end, it's not surprising that one of my favorite stories involves kids. We used to do these shows in Vermont. And the promoter there told me that he wanted me to go hardcore heel. And that means play the bad guy, but he said he wanted me to do it over the top, make them hate me. And I did. I was mean to those people. Some of the things I said, I would get up close to people. I would, as I was coming out to the ring, and I would insult guys' wives, girlfriends, their kids. I would tell them that the kids running around in that town were living proof that humans can mate with other species. I got in the ring one time and told him that in that hillbilly woodchuck town, I went into the video store and the movie Deliverance was in the section marked instructional videos. I used to hit, there's this one skinny guy came to every show and his wife was kind of heavy set. I used to hit on her every week and tell her she needed a real man and blah, blah, blah. And, I mean, they hated me. So much so that this promoter, his name was Bumpy Latham, he came to me after we went there every month, after several shows and said, dude, you better take it down a notch. He said, they're going to burn the place down. But I was like, no, I ain't taking it down a notch. You told me to make them hate me. They hate me. So at that time, that was the only time in my career I would never sign autographs. I'd come out, kids would have signs up and stuff. I'd rip up their signs. So this all led to one night after it was a title match. I remember it was a particularly brutal title match. I got whacked with a barbed wire, a baseball bat wrapped with barbed wire. I hit with chairs. Really bloody, gory match. So we get all done with the show. I'm walking out to my car, and it's, a couple hours after the show had ended. My buddy who rode up with me was actually one of the good guys, so he walked on ahead of me so people wouldn't see us, if there's anybody left, see us walking together. And as I'm walking, I see this group to my left. It was a dark parking lot, but I see this group to my left, probably, 5, 6 kids. They're all, I want to say 12, 13, 14, all that age category. Well, I knew they were talking about me, so I'm walking. I got my bag in my hand. And pretty soon one kid, real thin kid, pretty tall for his age, but really skinny kid, he comes walking over to me, and I can see he's like coming out of the shadows. He's like really trepidatious, really nervous about it. He comes up and he goes, Curtis, can I get your autograph? And I had to play it up, and I'm trying not to laugh. And when he said it, I just stopped, and I closed my eyes like I was trying to get a grip. And I dropped my bag down, and I looked at him, and I said, what? And he said, can I get an autograph? And he had a program from the show and a pen. And I said, are you serious? I said, are you talking to me, you little shit? And he just goes kind of like this. I said, so what are you telling me? I said, spit it out, Junior. What are you telling me? You want me to write my name on your stupid little piece of paper here? Is that what you're saying? And he goes, yes, please. He was such a nice kid. And I'm trying not to laugh, and I'm really selling it over the top. Now, you have to understand, you could say, oh, a kid knows that an adult's not going to hit him. This is a 13-year-old boy. He just watched me beat people with a barbed wire baseball bat, get gouged up with a barbed wire baseball bat in a bloody mess. I mean, just an absolute barn burner of a match, violent match. He doesn't know that. It's a dark parking lot. So anyway, we're to that point, and I told him, you know, I said, so that's what you're telling me? You want me to sign this little piece of shit paper of yours? And he goes, yes, please. I said, give it to me. And he handed it to me, and I wrote my name on it. I handed it back to him. I said, now listen to me. I said, don't you ever, ever bother me again. And he goes, okay, thank you, thank you. And now this was the payoff. My favorite part of this was, now I turned to walk to my car because I was already starting to break a smile. I hear him run over to his other buddies, and he starts yelling, I got it! I got it! You guys are pussies! You guys are pussies! Now, why that delighted me, why that was a big thing to me, not because he wanted the autograph of some second-rate, dopey, independent wrestler. I don't have, trust me, I don't have that big a feeling about myself. It was because he didn't know what would happen in that situation. And he was scared. And all his buddies were scared to come out and ask me for an autograph because of the things I was done. But you know what? He was the one who sucked it up, braved it out, walked over and asked for it without knowing what was going to happen to him. And that's cool. That's the kind of stuff in life, it's fun to be a part of that for a kid. He found something in himself. I mean, he did something that the others were afraid to do. I know he was scared. I could see by the look on his face he was scared. But he said, you know what? Screw it. I want the autograph. I'm going to go ask for it. And I'll let whatever happens, happens. And that is such an honor to be a part of that for somebody. And again, it's, you know, it's not an earth-shattering moment, but who knows? For that kid, it made a difference. He found that he had some balls. You know, he was willing to step up and do what he wanted to do despite the fear. And that makes it one of my all-time favorite moments. I mean, I've got millions of old war stories from wrestling. I should probably share as many of them with you guys as I can now, because every day it seems like I lose a little bit more of my memory from, because I also have post-concussion syndrome from being whacked on the head with so many metal folding chairs and, oh gosh, and the baseball bats and the stainless steel sink was one of my favorites. It was an actual stainless steel industrial sink. I was working a guy, we'd been working these regular shows together, we had a big feud going. He comes in to work with me that night, and we're always looking for something bigger and more spectacular to do. And he says, oh, Curtis, he says, wait, do you see what I got? And he shows me this giant industrial stainless steel sink. I said, yeah, good for you. What are you going to do, open a restaurant? He goes, no, we can use that as a weapon. I said, well, what's this we, Kimosabi? Who's getting hit? Oh, Curtis, he goes, and it was me. And not only did he whack me with the damn thing, I tell you, not only did it hurt, that he hit me with that sink. The sound actually hurt my ears, I think, more than the impact hurt my head. But he whacked me with that sink. And then he takes the sink. I have it on tape somewhere. I'll have to show it to you guys. He takes the sink while I'm laying there, lays it over my head, and leg drops the sink with it on my head. When we got to the back, I yanked right a hole in my right a hole. I said, who the F thought it was a good idea or said it was a good idea to leg drop the sink on my head? He goes, oh, come on, I knew you thought it was cool. So, but he was right, I kind of did. Well, there it is. There's my average gameplay. I went 23-18 and completely choked because, as you saw, I had the lead about a third of the way through the game, was going along good, and gave it all up. But that's why Curtis the Spaz Gamer is an average game player. But it still beats the 2 and 25s I used to get. We'll see you next week with another commentary, and we'll be seeing you between now and then with tons of other fun stuff. Talk to you guys soon.